evening, America, and those listening around the world. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate with your host, John Matthews, self-ordained, politically incorrect, mad prophet of the airways. The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most knowledgeable activists and pundits today that together seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement with those seeking the truth regarding the similarities and differences between the religion of politics and the politics of religion.
Well, by getting on Larry King and telling everybody I'm a Christian and I wasn't raised in a Muslim home.
Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. But I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction. And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ.
At what point does a baby get human rights, in your view?
Well, I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective, answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade. I've got 2 daughters, 9 years old and 6 years old. I'm going to teach them, first of all, about values and morals. But if they make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby. As long as we've got to fight to make sure women have access to quality, affordable health care, and as long as we've got to fight to protect a woman's right to make her own choices about her own health, I want you to know that you've also got a president who's going to be right there with you, fighting every step of the way. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And now, your host, John Matthews.
Okay, hey, how are we doing out there tonight all across this great land? It is that time. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate. Come to you live right now out here from the old left coast out here in Southern California. We are glad to have you with us tonight. And we got I think a pretty bang-up show for you tonight. It's going to be a little bit off the cuff in terms of, a little bit ad-libbing here, I guess, today. Circumstances being as they are. Sometimes life just hands you distractions after distraction, and you just have to deal with it. But we're pretty well in tune on this show. We may be maybe at times an hour or so behind what the rest of the world is doing. But we're so sharp we're able to catch up in just a few moments because actually one of the great things about liberalism is that it's so predictable. You just know what's going on. You can almost sometimes, especially with this president, you can almost fill in templates as to what he's saying. I remember last year we had a game we used to play called BS Bingo. And really what it is you take all the things, all the canned sayings that Barack Obama gives in any particular speech coming from his teleprompter, where he really finds out what's going on. I don't even think he watches the news. I think he finds out what's going on when he steps in front of his teleprompter. But anyway, that being said, you can almost tell, what he's going to say in any given situation. And it always comes down to, at some point in time, is that, hey, I know what I'm doing and you guys don't. So, it's not hard to catch up. Anyway, I've got with us today, of course, my co-host from Dryer Report, Joe Hakos. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, John. To be perfectly clear, I am still here, and we are going to do the show here. It is a Tuesday, and we're going to do the show anyway. Just to be clear.
Okay, you're still here. What do you mean you're still here?
Well, we're still here because the FCC has allowed us to still be here.
Oh, yeah. Well, the NSA has allowed us to be here. The FCC.
Oh no, they're critiquing us, John.
Well, they haven't quite been able to pull it off yet. I mean, they're in the process of doing that. Obviously, yes, but they haven't done it so far.
Not for lack of trying.
That's
or
right.
at the IRS.
Right. So far,
Somebody's after us, John.
We haven't been.
It doesn't mean we're paranoid.
We haven't been blocked and we haven't been throttled yet. At least not literally. Maybe figuratively.
I remember one day being throttled, but I was younger then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Obama ever gets together and they finally are able to implement their final solution for Christianity. Who knows?
Well, don't give him the idea now. Come on.
Oh, come on. They've already thought of it.
Well, some of them I think have actually, when you have that guy out there and he replaces God with his name in the new Bible, that's pretty telling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's because he knows, I don't know what it is he knows. What did he say in that one word? So you don't.
I'm sorry, say it again.
He said in the one award show, that one guy, what's his name? He's your favorite artist.
Oh, Kanye West?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, what about him?
Well, he's the guy that that had a Bible put out and they replaced the word God with his name.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Throughout the Bible.
Well, okay.
So
well,
it's
I guess
Kanye Bible.
In Kanye land and maybe even in Obama land, that might work.
Well, then they had the 10 Commandments.
I always like the idea that here's a guy that's out there telling everybody he's a Christian man just because he's married. That's a qualifier. I'm married, therefore I'm a Christian man. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, you're married to a wannabe porn star. That's cool. And
yeah, it's amazing how they sprang onto the scene and became household names.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Strange world we live in.
Talent, no less. Talent from God.
Well, you know what? You're talking about what a strange world it is. Today was movie day. Tuesday's movie day at our house.
So it's movie day.
Yeah, that's because they have the matinee down the theater, and it's only $6. Okay, so on Tuesday it's movie day, and I take my wife out. We go to the movie. So we went to the movie. I think I mentioned this the other night. What was it? Sunday night, I believe it was, or Saturday night. We went down. She wanted to see that new movie, Furious 7, the last Paul Walker movie with the
that one. Uh-huh. Yeah,
I don't like these kind of movies. I like action movies, but I don't like this kind of stuff. Is just beyond weird to me. But anyway, so we went down there and they had it playing. And they got 10 theaters in this place. 5 of them were carrying the movie, and they were all sold out.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, wow, well, that's an indication of what society has become. When movies about driving cars is selling out in 5 different theaters. But anyway, we went down there and saw it this morning. And it's a 2.5-hour movie. And I got to tell you, one of the most ridiculous movies I think I have ever seen in my life. I mean, the whole plot, see, everything within this movie, everything they do. This is a team of specialist, covert, special ops kind of people. But they all have to be driving souped-up cars to do anything. And so they have to chase down this, the evil guy who's out in the mountains somewhere in some foreign third-world banana republic country. And so what do they have to do? They got 6 people on this team, so they all have to have special-made 6 cars. And they drop them from a C-5, Air Force C-5,
no one would ever see that coming.
Yeah, and they all land on the road, already moving.
From a C5, they dropped.
Yeah, I mean, they're dropped. You can tell they're dropped. They're supposed to be dropped. Like maybe 15,000 feet. I mean, they're up there, right? Because they got to be out of radar range. And I just
cars could fly, John. To be honest with you.
Well, the movie is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about these guys drive a Lamborghini through the windows of the Dubai Tower over in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
And they go through one window, and they end up going so far across, they go into the window of the next building, and they go out that window into the window of the building after that, and they survive it.
Ooh.
So they're driving off the edges of parking structures. Out here in California, we have parking structures that are like 5, 6, stories high.
Yeah.
They're driving off the top of these things, crashing, and getting up and walking away from the car.
Oh. So what you're telling me now, to put this into my world, how I grew up. So you're basically, these cars are replacing like Batman's utility belt.
Oh yeah, well they're supposed to be highly trained, specialized special ops people, but they can't do anything if they're not driving a car. That's the point.
So their talent is driving a car.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, we got to go down to 7-Eleven. Okay, let's all get in our cars and we'll crash and burn all the way down to 7-Eleven to get our 6-pack or whatever. You know, it's like they can't do anything without these cars. You know, and I'm like, give me a break. Come on, you know, let's be something realistic about this. Don't you once in a while have to sneak into a compound? You know, you just take your 6 little specialized GTO and
open up the gate and let the car in.
Yeah, and then one of them is like a Toyota Z or what was that? A Nissan Z.
Yeah.
You know, those things are like matchboxes.
Yeah, they're fairly light, to be honest.
And one of them takes a missile from a helicopter in the butt. You know, it hits the end of the car, and they're still driving the thing.
Well, I'm glad we're ruining this movie for everybody.
So they end up destroying the enemy guy, the bad guy, the big bad guy, who's flying a helicopter, one of those Apaches, right?
He's got an attack helicopter.
We know anybody can buy an Apache, I guess, these days, and they're racing through the streets of L.A. And what's really funny is, this is how he blows the helicopter up. He drives the car off of the parking structure, and as the car passes underneath the helicopter, he hangs a bag of grenades on the rail of the helicopter, and it blows up.
He does not.
I'm sitting at 2.5 hours of this, and I come out, my wife goes, "What do you think?" I said, that movie, I mean, that sucked beyond sucking.
So it was pretty much fantasy.
What do I have to do to get these last 2.5 hours back of my life?
Oh, jeez. I hope you at least had some popcorn or something.
Well, yeah, we did, but I mean, it's just, oh, good God.
Well, John, did the wife like the movie?
She thought it was okay. So which I'm thinking, okay,
because really, you didn't go there for you. You went there for her anyway.
I just went because she wanted to go. I mean,
yeah.
But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So, and what just really just grabbed me, just fully grabbed me. Excuse me, is the fact that this movie is selling out every night. And that's the thing. People are paying money to go see this. And I bet you 90% of them are walking out of there oohing and ahhing with thrills running up their legs, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, is this an indication of what's going on?
Apparently. It must be if it's sold out like that.
Well, they said it was the largest opening movie in history.
Well, that just tells you the power of just advertising and hype.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I'm a capitalist. I'm all, they make $1 billion gazillion on it. Hey, so what? That's great, But it just tells a story about it really doesn't take a whole lot just burning, crashing cars to entertain people these days. No wonder they can't listen to a speech by somebody other than the great one, Obama. No wonder they couldn't. They can't stand in front of sit in front of a TV for 5 minutes and listen to a C-SPAN speech, or maybe even read an entire article instead of just going by what's on the headlines. It's just it's that MTV mentality. I call it MTV mentality. I noticed when MTV first came out, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. They don't keep the camera focused on anything more than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
How can you digest anything? How can you process it? And it's because they don't want you to. They don't want you to process it. So anyway, that was
when MTV used to actually show videos, music videos. They don't really do that anymore. They have crazy, crappy shows.
Now they just have Kanye West.
Yeah, I'm selling my Bible. This is the Kanye Bible.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I've taken, that's a perfect Bible. That's the perfect Bible for the Democratic Party, where they've taken God out of everything.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh,
sorry,
hey, we got to go.